What's up guys, this is Isaiah from Games, and this will be our 5th episode of Gaimoria Development streaming. Last episode we were working on getting the pop between her idle and her run animation to look a lot better, and it looks pretty good. But this episode, I'm going to be working on her idle animation a lot more. I was saying at the end of the last stream on Tuesday that I wanted to like update her idle animation itself, and I kind of did some of that. Like I copied over the correct face and all that, but what I wanted to do was increase the idle animation speed. I'll show you how it was before. So, this samples thing is kind of like how fast the animation plays. What's up, bucket of bucket of nuggets. Ooh, I want a bucket of nuggets. What's up, Raviolio? So what I was just saying is I'm going to be fixing her idle animation a little bit more today, because it looks a little janky to me. But what I had done after Tuesday's stream is I was playing with it, and it used to be at this speed, so much slower. And I wanted to push it up to 7 because it was a little more fluid. So I don't want to put it like up to 12 or something, because then she just looks like she's hyperactive, but just that little increase from 5 to 7 I think made it look a lot better. But because I did that for all of her idle animations, now some of her other animations, or for her idle, are very noticeably weird. So let's run back over here. She has a lot of just like things bouncing and moving around in her head, and I don't really like that. I'll zoom in again like this, just so I can show it to you guys. So what I want to do is, for the stream today, I'm going to be trying to reduce a lot of that. So her head's just like shaking all over the place. Whereas in the other direction, it's not as bad. Like, it could still be a little more relaxed, but it's a lot more noticeable on this side because you can see her eyes, and her eyes are going back and forth, and it's just all sorts of crazy. And that became much more apparent when I increased my samples from 5. So see, it's a little less of an issue here, but when I sped it up, you know, you really start to notice it. And then I think probably the worst one is actually her up idle, which we haven't even really touched. We haven't touched her up run or anything. Her up idle, her ponytail is just like going back and forth, and it's all weird. I worked on her arm, so her arm kind of like bobs up and down nicely. I did that to this side too. All this stuff looks good. Her shoulders look good. The general bob on her head looks really good, but her ponytail is just freaking out. So this will actually take a bit more time to fix, because because their idle animations are a little older, I don't actually have this ponytail drawing on a separate layer, so I'm going to have to erase this and then redraw all the stuff underneath of it, which is why I go through the effort of working non-destructively with masking and all that, so that way if I ever did have to go through and fix something, I wouldn't have to do as much work as I'm going to have to do to fix this. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to match her arm movement to match this, which I'll probably just do a lot of copy pasta to start. And then I'll have to get her other shoulder and stuff to match the bob. But, and then I'll have to recolor it. But I need to get her ponytail on a separate layer. That way, it'll be really easy for me to fix this ponytail animation, because right now it's just like going back and forth like this. So what I'll do is, once that's all separated, I'll essentially just draw one ponytail copy it to every single frame, and then I'll put that animation into Unity, get it into the right spot everywhere, and then I will tweak it for each frame. This is how I've done a lot of the other animations, so that they look like they go from one frame to the next nicely. So, first things first, I'm gonna fix her left idle, because this is much less work. Even though it kind of looks like it's more crazy, the work that'll actually take to fix it will be less intensive, because it's just going to be a lot of copying lines and then just redraw the lines, and then that's it. We got a host. Thank you, Miss DJM, for hosting us all the time. She's like the coolest lady, besides my wife. Alright, so... Oh, and another thing I did that I actually really like. You guys didn't see this from the work, but I actually added this really dark kind of purple to her hair. So this is how it was, and this is what you guys were seeing. But I felt like for her hair being this like soft object, it just felt too flat to me. And I really like a lot of the ombre hairstyles that these hip girls are all doing. I'll show you in my reference folder. So I really like this kind of like hair color change from one direction to the next, or from like top to bottom. Same thing here. Not so much there or there. Same here. So I like that idea. So I kind of did like an abstraction of it. And made it kind of subtle. It almost just kind of looks like it's a shadow. And that actually helps, because I applied a little bit to like the back of her head. And in game, that actually just helps round it out a lot more. I already added it to her run animations too, so you can see here her ponytail's a little bit more rich and red. And here you can see it just kind of gradates to that darker shade. And then I have a little bit on the back of her hair, and then I have it here too. And I kind of like that because it almost looks like a foxtail to me. And as Miss DJM asked me on Tuesday why a girl, or maybe it was Thursday last week, and I was saying Tails from Sonic was an inspiration for me with the whole hairstyle. So, and Tails is a fox. So I kind of like this whole just little change in her hair. And that's really easy. That's just another... Thank you, Raviolio. That's just its own layer. And I just have a mask out for it. And I can change the color if I ever wanted to. I played around with it. I tried making it like completely black. I tried making like her base hair color black, and then like this stuff a different color, and that just started to deviate from it too much, so I went back to having her strong red hair for game design purposes, and then I made this kind of like a dark purple. And that was kind of what I ended up with liking a lot. So since we need to fix the line work, we're going to disable all our color layers, final touches. We're gonna behead her once again. Gotta make her look good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to essentially just copy one of the heads from her, whichever one I think looks the best. See this last frame. I kind of like this little dot for her lower lip is cute. But first we gotta put the lines out. And I'll keep the ponytail, so I won't mess with that. I just need to get her neck and her hair to not be wiggling, jiggling so much. So how's everyone's Thursday going? Tomorrow's Friday. I'm sure most of you excited. Most of you are excited about that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this one again. So I can drop this one down. That. And start copying her head over. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have it so that they're all perfectly in line vertically first. So she won't be having any head bob to start, but that's okay. What I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna have to adjust each frame to line up correctly horizontally. You can see like this is way out of position, but that's okay. So that'll get fixed in a bit. So that's it. It's not finished, but I mean this is just me putting it in place, so I'm gonna save it, put it in, and see how it looks. I have never played any Disgaea, but I have looked at it a lot. So I like Final Fantasy Tactics a lot. So it's... Alright, so now her idle animation will be back to her lines. Run out to this white space so we can just look at it. Now since I kind of like messed with her head, you can see her head moves way less now, which is a step in the right direction. I also don't like how her ponytail's like bouncing up and down, that's all funky. But I am okay with all this movement and like her collar and stuff because we could just write that off as wind. And I like this little bit of movement in her hands, so really it's just I'm fixing her head and her ponytail. I guess I'll fix that too. So I'm gonna stop the play so I can get a close-up version of her. So what we can see is going on, as I said, I'm gonna need to fix the horizontal position because her head is scooting back. Actually, it's not too terrible because it kind of looks like she's kind of breathing in the cycle, so I can run with it. But I don't want it jutting back like that, so what I'm gonna have to do is this might be the furthest extent forward, back again. Okay, so that's what's going on. So that means in my last frame, which is actually in the right spot, with all of these three, I'm gonna have to push them forward. I don't want to mess with the location of the last frame because that's the one that I copied and is in the correct spot. These ones all need to get pushed forward. That. See how this looks. There. Looks kind of cool. So now I can play with the vertical because I feel like the horizontal is fine. So I'm gonna make it look like she's kind of breathing. So I'm gonna push some of these frames up. So this will be the topmost. Doing good. I only have one beer, so I'm good until that's gone. And then I'll just be okay. Okay, so let's see. We got 5 frames because I was very strange with when I made this a long time ago. Her run animation and stuff is 5 or 6 frames, which makes it really easy to be like, okay, so for 3 frames she's going to build up to this pose, and then for the other 3 frames she builds down to the other pose. But with 5 frames this is very strange. And I do have space to add a 6th frame, but that's going to be way too much work to try and fit into a stream today. So I may eventually add that, just for the sake of smoothing out the animation, because there's plenty of space out here to add the 6th frame. So let's see. This one will be the top. This is the same. That's the same. I'm gonna want... I don't want it like that. I need an extra frame. This is weird. Okay, so let's just try it. So I'll go... How many nudges was that? This will be 2 nudges. This one will be another 2 nudges. Let's do 3. 4. 3. Put these up one more too. That way it's really noticeable. Alright, let's see how this looks. It's better. Now she kind of has her head move a bit. Let's try play it in game with the proper size, see how it looks. This is not different, it's just I am refining it even further. Because if you go back and check this animation, or check the stream, like when I put it on YouTube, the first like 5-10 minutes, I show why I didn't like it, and so I'm fixing it. Basically there was like way too much movement in her head that was kind of funky. And so now this is a little bit more relaxed, like kind of breathing bob. So that's what I'm fixing right now. And I'm gonna fix her ponytail as well. I'm gonna cut those lines out, and then I'm gonna make it so it doesn't like pop up in this. I think it's only 1 frame that actually needs to be fixed for her ponytail. It's that one right there, I think. That's gets really big all of a sudden, and it's too high, so that's the 1st frame. Yeah. What I can do is actually erase this line. I probably don't even have to redraw it. I just gotta get rid of this line and then color that as hair instead. Let's just try that. Small subtle tweaks today. This is like the animation stuff people are going to be staring at a lot. So this is worth doing the nitpicky work for. It's a little better, so it's still kind of strange that it goes so wide. But I kind of like that. I think that was enough of a fix to where once I actually get colors in, it will look good. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. That was enough. That was all it was. Just erasing that one line. That made a big difference. There. So what I'm going to do now that I feel like her head is in the right position, I'm going to redraw each frame. That way it doesn't look like it's just the same head over and over. So now you just get to watch me redraw stuff. I'm going to delete this old reference layer. Bind these into the new old. This one I'm not touching. So I'm going to merge that down into clean already, because I'm not redrawing that one. So I just have to redraw 4 heads now. What's up, why not 0440? Never seen you before, so thank you for coming and checking this out. Yes, this will be kind of like an ARPG, kind of like Zelda. To me, Zelda is like the staple ARPG. But, unlike Zelda, you're actually going to be focusing on combat with your pets. So the main character and I will be able to like go around and whack things, but we're taking elements from Pokemon and being able to summon your pets, and they're going to be fighting alongside with you in real time, and they will kind of be like your go-to saviors. Making sure I'm getting the right line width here. Zanaya will be kind of squishy. So your pets will be able to like soak up a lot of the damage as you fight. They'll be kind of automated, but they'll you'll be able to control them too. So if you can imagine a Secret of Mana meets Zelda meets Pokemon. That's kind of what we're going for. Lower this a bit, kind of interfering with me being able to see how she looks currently. All this stuff. Sometimes my Photoshop decides to not hide stuff, like how, because Control H is the shortcut to hide guides, and I have to like switch my tool before it actually listens to me, so that's an odd bug. Go. Rinse and repeat. So the reason that I'm redrawing every frame is because, as you guys saw in her animation, it just looks like she has the same head bobbing around, like it looks like it's a cutout. So when I redraw every frame, there are the tiny subtleties of each stroke is not exactly the same as the last. So even though I'm retracing over something I previously drew, every time I'm redrawing these lines, they're slightly different. And so then when you see the animation and you see all the very slight differences put into an animation, it looks way better. Like, it doesn't look like a cutout head that's just kind of bobbing around. It looks like a head that was properly, you know, animated to flow with her body. So, we're almost halfway done with this already for her, for this side. Well, thank you. I've always, I've worked on like a lot of projects, you know, being at Bungie and all that, and, you know, realistic sci-fi stuff, but I've just always been drawn to projects like, creators of Bastion and Transistor, Blizzard games. I just like that, that style, and that's kind of how I've always been. Like, I've always had a more painterly approach to what I do, so it's really fun for me to be able to be working on a project like this that, you know, feels like the style I want to do, obviously, because I'm the art director. I do enjoy, like, doing realistic sci-fi stuff too. That's why I do it. But I also like doing this. I like realistic sci-fi stuff because I'm just fascinated by the universe. I was actually just watching an episode of Cosmos on Netflix while I was eating just before I did the stream. Neil deGrasse Tyson just blowing my mind left and right. It's like if someone like that took you out on a date and you just want to listen to them talk forever. It's like sex with your brain. What I like about that show is they do a good job comparing things to real life. Like analogies to real life, just with time and scale and speed. Like, you can't grasp that, you know, our planet is spinning at what, 64,000 miles an hour, and then we're flying around the sun at 100,000 miles an hour, and then the sun is flying through the galaxy at several more hundreds of thousands of miles an hour, and then the whole galaxy is moving at millions of miles an hour. Like, you just can't really grasp that. You can't really relate it. So it's nice that they kind of like just illustrate it and explain it in a way to someone like me that's all visual. And they talk about a lot of history too, which is awesome. They talk about like ancient Chinese philosophers that were talking about astronomy, and just like they're talking about the terms like algebra, alcohol, all that stuff actually comes from Arabic. So there's a big like science push in the Islamic world a while ago, and they were kind of like on the frontier of science before it kind of went to Europe. So you get cool history lessons like that too. And it's just interesting to hear about the Islamic world being on the forefront of scientific discovery when a lot of it is more religious focused now. Or at least our portrayal of it through what the media tells us. So this is the last frame that I'm going to draw for this angle, then I'll save it and put it in, see how it looks. I'm assuming it's going to look pretty good. Might have to make some tweaks. Alright, save and put it in. There. Super subtle. That's all it needs to just make it feel like each frame was done individually. See that? Now it doesn't look like it's just a single head that's cut out and like moving around, like floating. took the time to just redraw it. Looks like there's a little bit of subtle animation in her mouth, like a little bit in the back of her hair. Her bangs look like they move. And none of that was truly intentional. That was just because I copied the same head, pasted it 4 times, and then just traced over it. So it's just the subtleties of retracing that created the appearance of subtle animation. I'm pretty happy with that. We can look at the other direction. So we have an issue with this one too. Not as bad as the other one was. Like her chin kind of goes in and out like that. But it's not terrible. So what we can do first is we'll go back and we'll fix the coloring for all these frames. As you can see, like, obviously it's not correct now. Delete this. So I'm gonna go through and fix her colors. Skin first. Let's actually just go like this. I can make sure the skin is correct first. So it's good this is going to take me maybe like 45 minutes, and then I could use the rest of the time working on this one with her ponytail being really funky. Yeah, the small changes make a huge difference. That's why I've actually kind of been enjoying this 2D animation process. Because as I said, I'd never done it before Gaimoria. So I was just like, well, I may as well do it. I had experience with 3D animation. I don't have to fix the skin here because yeah, the small changes make a huge difference. That's why I've actually kind of been enjoying this 2D animation process. Because as I said, I'd never done it before Gaimoria. So I was just like, well, I may as well do it. I had experience with 3D animation. I don't have to fix the skin here because this was the face we copied. So it was cool, like, after I've been doing so much of this 2D animation for Gaimoria, I kind of started to get the hang of it and kind of learned my own little workflow that worked for me and got those little subtleties that I wanted without just fussing with a million tiny things, because animation is very, like, if you're a really good animator, like, one thing, if it looks off, it's gonna drive you crazy. And this is where I had to fix that ponytail band. So that's why I never really got into 3D animation, because it just drove me crazy, and it like made me feel fidgety when I was working, and I didn't like that. But I don't really feel fidgety when I do this, because I don't feel like I'm... Like, there's just this thing, when you work in 3D, you have to spend a lot of time to make it not look like bad 3D. Because a lot of stuff starts off looking like bad 3D. And that's where just experience and work comes in to, like, making your stuff look good faster. because 3D just looks really weird for a while until you're like, oh, that's it, it looks good. But with more traditional animation stuff like this, like, you can get away with a lot more, which is cool. So I don't feel fidgety because, or anxious and like get all frustrated about it because it's just not such a hassle. It just looks cool. So I'm appreciating that. And fix her eye whites in a bit. You can see I also don't make a whole lot of effort trying to color within the lines because you can actually create more interesting strokes with paint when you color outside the line and then erase. Like you can make a, if you want to make a really sharp corner, like that doesn't look sharp, does it? Use the eraser, now that's sharp. So, that's how I was like painting her toes and her feet, because I would like paint it out like this, and then I would erase, and that like naturally, look, see that hook shape? Immediately, that's how her toe is. Voila, there you have a hook. So using the eraser is actually negative paint tool in a way, negative shape painting. Little trick. Cool. Oh, gotta fix her eye whites. So I'll just save out her flats just to confirm it's all looking good, and then I can fix her shadows. Oh, Mr. Sideburn on one frame. Right here. Oh, Mr. Sideburn on one frame. Right here. But besides that, it looked good. So, I'm gonna fix her shadows. Let's actually save all that for the end. I wanna fix this first. So I'll just hide the colors again, and I wanna get her ponytail looking good for her up animation, or her up idle. So, as I said, everything else looks good. I spent a lot of time getting the position of her arm, bobbing. You can see her arm goes up and down. But I don't have any separate layers of drawings for her ponytail. So this is what I have to do. I just have to erase it, and then I'm gonna have to redraw everything underneath. That's gonna be a bitch. So this will take me a while. So if you guys have questions to ask me while I completely destroy this, redo it, and I'll try and talk as I work too. I'm gonna try and be smart too with some like copy and pasting horizontally, but I'm still gonna have to be redrawing a lot of this. So this is pretty much what I have to do to every frame, and it's not pretty. Like right here. And I'm not going to go through a sketchy phase with this, I'm going to just try and have it with clean line work the whole time I do it. Because really it's mostly there, I just need to get the shapes fixed. I'm gonna make it a little unique on one side, like her clothes are kind of folding down over it. This is not the right angle. Color should be going across like this. This little line that kind of goes down. There, so that's one frame fixed. That actually took a lot less time than I thought. So maybe this won't be a little bitch to do. I think it's because I'm doing the copy paste is actually working better than I thought it was going to. So, it's good news. Her thumb in there. Yeah. Much. Redraw it. So what I can also do is after I get this sketch done without her ponytail, I can just put that into Unity to confirm that that looks good too. Before I put her ponytail in, because I want to make sure that her other arm here looks okay. I want to make sure all that motion looks correct. And then I can just do her ponytail on a second layer, and I think that will be pretty easy. I don't expect today's stream to last as long as Tuesdays did. Tuesdays I wanted to fix a lot of stuff. And I can already tell that this one's not going to take me too long, so this will probably be closer to the normal like hour and a half, rather than Tuesday. I was almost 3 hours long. Especially because like fixing a pop in animation is kind of difficult. I have a quick key set up too, so it's really easy for me to just like duplicate and flip it. So all I have to do is I select it, and then I just hold Control and then press JF8. So Control J dupes it, and then continue holding Control and press F8, and it flips it. Because Photoshop has yet to come on with a good like mirror drawing kind of thing. They've never implemented it, so I had to come up with my own little quick keys. Yeah, Tuesday was pretty long. Conveniently, her thumb is in a pretty good spot there. Let's keep it fine. But I'm considering already doing this one more day per week, so up to 3 days a week. Because I enjoy doing this. And I feel like I get a decent amount of work done, so I'm not like just spending the whole time just BSing. I'm spending the time wisely. I'm able to answer questions and talk with you guys, but I'm also actually getting a fair amount of work done, which I'm happy about. I didn't know how that would go at first, but I feel like for the time that I'm streaming, I actually get good stuff done. So I might do it, might start doing it like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What do you guys think? Sounds good to you? Not terribly worried about matching the arm position exactly on both sides because we don't always like have both of our arms in the exact same position. So it's nice having a bit of this asymmetrical layout. No, I enjoy the whole stream process, so I think that would just make me like it more, to be honest. Mostly because it actually feels like working out a studio again, because ever since I've been here working on this, I haven't really talked to anyone while I work, so I'm just like this weird hermit at home. But when you work at a studio, you know, you have people working right by your side, so you can like talk as you work, or you'll have like quiet periods where you're just focused on your work, but this allows me to talk to people, which is an important part of being a human. Social interaction. But if the patron keeps doing well, we're almost up to 700 bucks a month. I don't know if I said that on Tuesday, but we had another huge monthly donor come in for 50 bucks a month, which is awesome. And now we're only like $70 away from our first goal of 750 a month. If we can keep growing it, then we're gonna get like a little studio space. Then I could actually leave home to go work on Gaimoria at the studio that we rent out. But I think we need a little bit more money to do that. Just a little bit. But I feel like we're getting close. Alright, one more frame, and we'll check it. Yeah, that's pretty much my life right now. My wife goes to work at Lawn Lane. She has a studio there with all her sweet print stuff, and then I just hang out at home and work. We haven't quite met it yet, but thank you for the congratulations. Maybe what you're doing is you're telling me that we will hit it, so thank you. Yeah, we're only like 70 bucks away. We're at 682 out of 750 a month right now. So we just need that extra like 68. Yeah, 68. Extra 68 a month. Just what we need is we need this to go viral, because right now we have a huge number of people donating like 50 bucks a month. I never thought that would happen, and I'm not complaining. I'm really excited about that. But we only have like 46 donors. So the average donation we have is almost $20 a month. That is insane. So most of our donors are donating a lot of money. Like we have 8 people giving $50 a month or more. And that's more than we have in people in like the $3 category. Which just blows my mind that we have more people donating 50 bucks a month than we do $3 a month. Yes, think positive. So we just needed to go viral, and then we could get that, like, we could get that 1,000 donor, you know, mark or whatever, but then the average donation is $3 a month, then bam, there's $3,000 a month. But we just need the right people with the right interests, with the interests of the project and the whole stream process and people learning and all that to want to do this, or want to like get on board. What's up, Boyd? So this is the last frame for fixing her back. We'll see how that looks. Save it. Yeah, that was much less painful than I thought it was going to be. So, this is all. Alright, so that's good. That's okay. It's good. That came across pretty well. Her right arm's a little stiff, but that's okay because she's going to be having her ponytail kind of sway side to side. So we did the correct work of erasing her ponytail so that we can now redraw it. So step by step. Step by step. Day by day. Good old TGIF. I'm gonna play that song right now. Or wait, no. I bet if I do that, I'm gonna get muted from Twitch. So you should go to YouTube and play Step by Step theme song. Okay, so new layer. I'm gonna draw one ponytail as I said, and then I'm gonna copy and move it, just like I said how I did with this. And then instead of erasing underneath of it, I'm gonna apply a mask. That way, if I ever do have to come back and fix it, I won't have to redo this process again. Yeah, TGIF was like the coolest thing when I was a kid. I loved Steve Urkel from Family Matters. Did I do that? Steve Urkel was like my hero back then too. When my first day of kindergarten, I specifically remember saying I wanted to dress like Steve Urkel. So I pulled my pants way up to like my nipples, and that was my first day of kindergarten. Kids are funny. Steve Urkel being your role model. Okay, so let's see here. Yes. As in a donor, yes, you can change it to be like, you can start out at 1 and then you can increase it to 3, or you could like start at 10 and decrease it to 5. Like, you're never locked in, and you can always cancel it too. It's very open for people to be able to do what they want. My parents wouldn't let me watch real dinosaurs because the baby was too violent. Yes, patronage contract until death, like student loans, where they'll then hunt your family down. Is this person really dead? Her hair kind of goes way out there on her front animation. That goes out beyond her arms, so we'll copy that. That's too much of a hook. Okay. This seems to properly mimic how I drew it up here. She has this like extra little extension. I back up my data often and in multiple ways. So I have this locally saved. I have a Dropbox where I save it. I have a repository, which all this is saved to. A repository is basically what's called version control. And I'll just show you that. This is version control software. There's other things called like Perforce that do it. And it tracks all your pushes and pulls. Pushes and pulls is how you submit and request data from your repository. So this actually has all my version changes, and you can see like some of Sam's check-ins and the stuff that he's done, splitting off into branches. And then this is all work I've done like in the past year, things that I've checked in. So all this is online. So if something breaks, we can actually delete it from our computer and re-pull it based on the back or the last revision. So this is like the safest way. And then you have this top thing called uncommitted changes, which is basically all the work that I'm doing right now. So every time I'm done with the stream, or every time I'm done working for the day, I do what's called a commit, which is a local repository save. And then when I feel like I have sufficient enough work, I do what's called a push, which pushes it to the online repository, which is then able to be loaded by everyone else. And it is saved. Something breaks. So now I'm going to copy this ponytail. Do exactly the same thing I did with her head just not long ago. Get it in the right position, get it kind of bobbing right, and then I'm going to kind of do, since it's her ponytail, I'm going to kind of make it wave a little bit. Since it's 5 frames, that's kind of weird. Instead of 6 frames like I have with her run. So we'll just save this again. Yeah, you have permission to view. You don't have permission to edit anymore, though. I think the only people that have permission to edit is like me, Sam, and the new girl that might be interested in helping with code. Okay, so this is actually a good thing to see. We're having a side-to-side pop, which is not desirable, and this is why I'm doing it with a sketch first. So you can see it's kind of like going out, and then it wiggles back and forth. That means one of my frames is going too far. And I think it's frame this one. So you can see what's going on. It goes out, then in, and then out. So that's what's causing this weird frame wiggle. But these frames are fine. So it goes like this, and builds up, and it cuts back. So what I need to fix is this one needs to go out. Yep, last frame needs to go out. Tiny little push, that's it. Okay, so that just makes it kind of like float side to side, which is okay. And so now, what I'm going to be doing is I need to find an extreme pose so that I can have it essentially cycle. I haven't watched that video yet, no. By the time that I had seen that you sent it, I was like getting prepped for the stream already. Okay, so this is how I figured out her animation for her hair. So I kind of want it to go like this. Then I want the This is the most extreme. This is like a full moon, and it pushes that shape out. This straightens out. So out, pushes that down, and it's out a little bit, then it just doesn't look. I want this to be a little more S-like. So again, I'm not a master animator, so this is me kind of just like based off of the little bit of animation I've done for Gaimoria. It's kind of mostly guesswork. Just trying to figure out like what's the shape that's going to be moving. If I can go like this, that'd be cool. It kind of like counter sways. Comes back. This. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, when I'm actually doing concept art, I reference a lot. I have a massive reference folder that I go off of. And when I'm finding new cool stuff, like I have stuff for Anaya, I have stuff for her pets and all that, just like general art direction ideas, bosses, demon stuff, ambient creatures, types of enemies, the elements for the enemies, NPC races, ambient creatures again. So I have this big reference thing that I actually go off of when I do a lot of concepting. But with animation, I just kind of wing it. And obviously, like, master animator is going to be referencing life because, you know, they're professionals. But I'm not, because I'm not. So this one. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna actually warp it. Kind of play with its shape a bit. And what's actually good is if I take the previous one bit over here and continue to warp it again instead of like trying to assume where I had warped the previous one. Uh, that's just me saying things. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much having a boss-like title. I would consider like hand-drawn Disney animators back from like the 70s to what I would be labeling as a master animator. Like they all drew from life and everything. They had actual models come and they would have them like dance around the studio, and they would have a whole team of guys just like sketching as they're moving. So that's like the real way to animate. Hello, babe. Oh. Yeah, Miyazaki stuff is freaking awesome. That's like present day um, traditional animation that, I mean, there's obviously still people that do it all over the world, and especially in like a lot of high quality anime movies, because a lot of them still do the hand-drawn animation stuff, whereas Disney kind of went away from that. But yeah, Miyazaki stuff, absolutely, it's really good. Yeah, like, yeah, that kind of stuff. You can just tell, and then like, Secret of Nim was a big one to me, because when you see how they animated the owl, it was just phenomenal. Like how his like feathers rustle and everything, it's just so good. So I'm gonna kind of fatten her hair here like this, as her hair's kind of supposed to be round. It could, oh, we'll see how this looks. Could look terrible. I never know. Wait, sketch. This might look awful. I'm prepared. I have prepared myself for that. I don't know if you guys have prepared yourselves for it. We'll see. We'll see right now. Yep, Disney's your typical corporate sweatshop where they just want profits, so they fired off. Like, you can't like shit on them for it because clearly they're making money, but and then like the general public doesn't really get it. Yeah, see, a little bit of wave. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? So it looks good right here, but I need to kind of fix. I love how it like actually gets fat like that. Like that looks really cool. So this looks nice, but I want to tweak the bottom a little bit because it looks almost like a jellyfish at the bottom. And that's because it's kind of popping too much right there. That's the problem. Hey, we got a new follower. Thank you, Froster. So I need to, it looks really cool from here to here, but I need to fix it from here to here and here to here. So I need to fix 3 frames, or 2 frames rather, because I'm not going to touch my base. I'm going to just tweak it so that it transitions between these two nicer, and then from this one to this one nicer. So what I'm going to do, I have very little coding experience. I basically just started learning, started teaching myself how to code in October. C# and Unity. So I'm pulling this one over for the reference because that's what it's transitioning to. I'm going to try and match this a little bit better, so that way the pop isn't as noticeable. So pull this up and squeeze this shape in. And I could probably pull this out a little bit more. Pull that out a little bit better. Then I'm actually gonna just fix this one line here. A little bit more. Oh wait, yeah, I also wanted to fix this corner because it's popping too weird. Soften out this. Okay. Hide that. Let's resave it. Check it out again. Me, that's passable. Like, it was just enough of that tweak to kind of help that transition. It does kind of feel like her hair is like pinned to her butt. Because this moves really nicely. And I kind of actually like to fix it so this kind of flicks out the opposite direction. So I'll delete this, this, and this. Okay, so it's most pointy here. I can't do it there. Now, if I actually just get rid of the point here, it might work a lot better. Just kind of like smooth this out to be kind of nice and bubbly. Then maybe I can smooth this point out too. See how that looks. That might give the illusion that it's not stuck to her behind. Let's try that. A little bit better. Try it in actual game. I don't want to push this out. On these two frames, I want to push it out more. So from this point to about right at her waist. Right one, right. I'll warp again. I can just kind of. That. Hopefully this looks okay. Enough of a curve. Yeah, let's try that. That's a little better. See, now it kind of feels like it's flicking out, but I feel like I could push it a little bit more on that one frame. Oh, but the thing is, it's kind of like in that nice middle ground right now, so if I keep pushing it, then I'm really suffering from not having a 6th frame, because I feel like that 6th frame for her hair would go right in between, which is where I'd really get that little extra flick out to the other direction. Maybe if I just create a point on this frame, it'll help. Problem is then we have the point generating out on this side again. Maybe if I smooth this one, create a point on this one. I really need that 6th frame. So, smooth it out here. Create a point on this one. Fun fact too, last week I actually had one of the Twitch staff members start following me on Twitter. That was kind of neat. Okay, so something really subtle like that, just to like make me happy. Feel like her tail of her ponytail is kind of flicking around. Almost there. Feels like it's getting really close. Yeah, we have a... Oh, my butt. Oh, it's because I always sit up so straight. We have one for, Gaimoria. So, we have one for... Not for me, but for the project. Kind of watching it. So this is already a huge improvement over where it was. I don't think no. He's he's in LA. We're gonna be visiting him, but he's not gonna be there for my 30th. You know, I'm gonna try just like cleaning up these lines. Just to, I don't need this anymore. Yep, we're driving from Seattle all the way down to San Diego over the course of 2 weeks. I'm gonna kind of drop this down. And I'm just gonna redraw these frames so that they're not so blurry. I'm gonna put these all together. And this one. Drop this down again. Yep, turning the big 3-0. Ugh. Are you comfortable saying how old you are, Raviolio? I'm 29. I got a lot of gray hair. Yeah, 41's still young. I have a big gray patch in my facial hair, right here on my chin. Well, I know I made this round in my sketch, but I'm gonna try how it looks with a point. Hey, what's up, Dallas? Catching the tail end of it, but I'll still be going for a little bit more. I want to get these idle animations cleaned up. This line is too funky. Sega. Why, what did Sega ever do to you? Yeah, let's try that. I think I ever played that. There, I like that. I put a little bit more point on that one frame, and I like that. I like that. I think that looks good. So it might be hard for you guys to see. So I'll actually blow it up here for you guys to see it like this. But I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of looks like it's blowing a little bit in the wind. It'll look a lot better once I kind of like mask it out and then put some colors on it. You guys will see it a lot better. You can see like I have this like line that kind of grows with each frame. That was done unintentionally. And it's like, that's why I like 2D animation. It's like all these unintentional things just add to the character of what's the lines are saying. I'm loving 2D animation way more than I ever did 3D animation. Because it just feels like you get something cool so much faster. So now what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna do this smart. I'm gonna keep the ponytails on their own layer. And then I'm gonna go through this and I'm gonna mask it. So that way I'm not like erasing the work that I just did. Just hides it. Yay, we got another follower. Let me check. Oh, it's Dallas. Thank you for following us, Dallas. He's asleep. There, so it looks like I'm erasing, but I'm not. So I can actually just disable the mask, and all my lines come back. So that's what I should have done the first time I made this animation. So now, since I have this set up correctly, I can, if I ever really need to, I can come back and fix her animation of her ponytail without breaking all of the lines of her hands and her arms and legs and dress and all that stuff. Allergies are starting to pick up. I always have this weird like late afternoon allergy issue and I don't know what it is. But my theory is it has something to do with just air pressure changing as the day changes, and it's always right around like 5, 6 o'clock where my head starts feeling like it's swimming. Feel just kind of like, ugh. Then like I can feel my sinuses tightening up and everything. Always happens around this time of day. Feel like my ears getting clogged up and all sorts of stuff. Afternoon allergies. Is that even a thing? Cool. So now I'm just going to go through and fix her solid colors. And I'll have to fix the mask on this, but that's really easy because that was properly masked first time, as I did that last night or Tuesday. So I only have to fix my sinuses so I can breathe. Oh, and then I'm gonna have to. I might have. Well, I'll do her ponytail first, but you can see like all this coloring stuff under here is not correct. But we'll just see how it looks after I paint in her new ponytail. I was doing some grocery shopping at Costco yesterday, and I saw that Costco is now offering, I think it's maybe 60 ounces of Kirkland whiskey, $20. Not even, it's 19, like $19.50. I was really tempted to get that. Even if it's not that great, if you just have like a glass of whiskey, especially for like how my sinus are going right now, be nice. But whiskey's dangerous for me, because like I said the other day, like I like to sip on stuff a lot, which is why I drink a lot of water, drink a lot of beer. But then if I have whiskey in the house, I end up drinking a lot of whiskey. And what happens when you drink a lot of whiskey? You get really drunk. And I like drinking a lot of alcohol, but I also don't really like getting really drunk, because I like getting that just kind of feel good feeling, so then I can just work and do whatever without having to get like, lay on the couch drunk. So you can see here, I'm gonna have to fix this on her. I should get rid of this. You can see her shoulders all screwed up, so and then I'll have to fix that there too. So a little bit of patchwork for stuff underneath her ponytail, as expected. I appreciate Jameson. Jameson's pretty cheap, but it's not $20 for 60 ounces cheap. Like $20 for what, 21 ounces? Like a bottle of wine size. Typical bottle size. Okay, so her hair's done, so now I need to go through and fix her other stuff. So on her tunic base, it's not correct, and her undershirt should not be here. So I have a whole bunch of stuff that's all funky right now. So tunic base goes up here. Up. Yeah, Cherish appreciates her very nice whiskey. And yeah, Kirkland vodka is pretty good too. And that's super freaking cheap. But I don't like sipping on vodka. To me is just gross. Even when it's smooth, like Kirkland vodka, it's just not my thing. I don't know a whole lot of people that are just like, can I have a vodka? Neat. Usually it's like mixed or something. I'm not a vodka person, even though I am part Russian. Surrender. I do like my Bloody Marys. I like my Bloody Mary strong too, but that's also because I just like that spicy tomato. Okay, so that's flat colors. Well, that looks... I'm assuming it'll look pretty good because the lines look good and the solid colors just make the lines look less bad. So if it'll make something that already looks pretty decent look less bad, then that should look pretty good, right? Logic? Yeah, cool. Try to game size. Good enough for me. Not perfect, but way better than it was. If you go back and rewatch the start of the video, you'll see her ponytail is just like bouncing back and forth all freaky. We fixed her head, so her face looks way better. Got the subtlety of the animation with her bangs and everything. So today was successful. Got lots of little stuff fixed. So now I'm just going to spend the rest of the time polishing up the shadows like we have here, just to fix all that stuff. So I'll just fix that and then I think we'll be done. Spent about an hour and 45 minutes, so just take me another 15-20 minutes to wrap this up. Oh, that weird portal is actually some summoning effect stuff I was testing for when she is aiming her pets. We gotta nuke all this out. Reslick the hair. There. See what happens when you like do your stuff smart? I didn't even have to like repaint all that gradient stuff. All I did was I just like refilled it based off of the new painting I had done on the hair. Just reselect, delete, and refill. It's all in the right spot. Magic. Alright, so all I have to do is her shadows. I'll have to tweak the these things real quick. Hey, you can see the shadows here on her ponytail's messed up. That's pretty much the only thing I have to really repaint. Looks okay down here. Oh, no. I need to fix it on her neck, because I was, I was adjusting the height of her head, because her head was going all like that. Okay, so, start with this one. Ninja with size. I don't know, man. I used to draw so much weird anime stuff back then. Oh no, that was Shiden. I had Den, yeah, Den and Shiden. Man, that was so long ago. That was when I was like 17. Yeah, Shiden. I never even thought about that, but it'd be neat if I kind of included a characterization of them in the game because, you know, that's kind of my silly past of what I used to draw back then. But I would make them not so, like, crazy anime. Make them fit within the world. Kind of. I was 17. I wrote like a couple pages, maybe. Alright, so I'll save it real quick because I just want to check this side before I check the before I fix her upper one. There's a little bit of a fix I need to do on her forehead, because that shadow's a little too aggressive. Shadows on her ponytail is a little crazy. It's where this stuff gets really nitpicky. Because my shapes are all wild, look at that. It's like double point, then it like inverts. I just need to simplify all these shadows here. It's simple. Kiss is a real thing. The more complex you make it, the more complex it is. Imagine that. If you make something more complex, it's going to be more complex to work with. So if you keep it simple, it's simple to work with. So I need to cut the shadow here. Let's go up. That. This one's too far down. That's better. There. Now we don't have this shadow line that's going all sorts of crazy here to draw too much attention. Fix the shadow on her forehead. So now I'll just fix this weird shadow line for her hair. And then I'll fix this little pop for that one frame. Then I think we'll be done for today. Ah. Yeah, they're staying in Hawaii. It's so freaking expensive to move your dogs on or off the island. It cost us, just to get them here, I think it was maybe just under $2,000 total. from all the various tests and blood work we had to do, and then Hawaii, like, quarantine, paperwork fees, like, it was about $1,700. Like, $850 per dog for all their stuff. And then if you're gonna, like, take them off island temporarily, it's like $300 or $400 per dog to do the paperwork to have a temporary leave and re-entry. It's ridiculous. I understand it though, because it's quarantine stuff and like the island doesn't have certain things going on. Like there's no rabies on the island at all. There's never been a case of rabies. So that's pretty much the biggest one, is rabies quarantine. Yeah, even for re-entry, it's ridiculously expensive. Yeah, Hawaii's really strict. You know, it's even worse. If you don't do your paperwork correctly, they can be stuck in Hawaii quarantine for 180 days. And when we went to go pick up our dogs, or from the airport, the process is so convoluted that if you don't go directly to the Hawaii quarantine site and follow their stuff exactly as they need, then no, military base is subject to the same thing. That's what I'm getting at. The military guy that got changed bases from somewhere on the East Coast out to Hawaii, they told him different stuff. He was in line in front of me, and they straight up told him, your dog cannot leave this facility for 180 days. That was the guy right in front of me. He was pretty upset. Because he did what the army told him, but not what the Hawaii quarantine site told him. Yep. I can't imagine if 180 days divided by 30, that's 6 months. So, he arrived on the same day as us, October, 20-something? He wouldn't be able to get his dogs out until, April. Yep. So he had to go there. They don't feed your dog or nothing. All they do is give him water. So you have to go to the quarantine every day to feed your dog. Then you have to leave with your dog there. Yeah, and you have to pay for them being quarantined. I think it's like, it's ridiculous. It's I think it's like $20 to $30 a day being quarantined. Yep. So 180 times 20 to 30. It's like $3,000 to $4,000. Yeah, messing up Hawaii quarantine stuff is no joke. There. That's today's work, kids. Okay. See you in a bit. Ugh. I feel like something's not coming through here correctly. Oh, that's why. I needed to select this. Yep. Okay. Deselect this. There we go. If something was a little strange. So I don't know if all you guys heard it, but I might actually start doing this 3 days a week now. Yeah, on a good dose of Overwatch as well. What is that? We only have like 4 days to play. So I'll be on tonight. So now our hair's a little darker. Fixed her head. Fixed her up idle. So we did good progress. Starting to feel like she fits. So we still have the up animation we gotta do. And I'll probably do that Tuesday. So I feel like if we're on a roll of you guys watching probably Wednesday. I figured I would do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just get them all out right in the middle of the week. Plus that'll help me just kind of like get all that stuff done. Like if I'm working on this animation stuff, I am working on it like on the in-between days. So if I have it Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then you know, I'll be working on the same stuff from one day to the next, so that just makes sense. But we are going to be gone after Wednesday next week, so I'm going to be bringing my laptop to do streaming when we're on the road. So I might not do the three day stream until when we get back. So we won't be doing it next week or the week after the week after. So I'll probably bump it up to 3 a week in about 3 weeks, just as a matter of my availability. So I'll still be doing them. I'll be doing my best to do them twice a week because we'll be on the road. So I don't know exactly when I'll be able to like have internet and get the stream and stuff all set up. And I also will not have this microphone. So you won't hear my beautiful voice in nice quality. So I'll just have my laptop mic, and you guys can listen to that. So my voice won't sound very good with that, but the game will still sound good. So you'll still hear pretty wind chimes and all, and the rain and all that, but I'll sound like I'm in a gymnasium or something, because my laptop mic sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream, because we did what I said I wanted to do. Yep, so thanks all you kids for watching, and tell your friends about our Patreon or the project, and help us keep doing this stuff, because I have fun doing it, and the Patreon literally pays our bills. So thanks for coming and watching, and I will see you guys Tuesday of next week. So thanks for hanging out. Toodles.